A sensation of worry, dread, and unease is known as anxiety. You can start to perspire, become agitated and anxious, and experience rapid heartbeat. It can be a typical response to stress. Here are some quotes about anxiety by different philosophers. People become attached to their burdens sometimes more than the burdens are attached to them. George Bernard Shaw. Anxiety is the handmaiden of creativity. T.S. Eliot. Our anxiety does not come from thinking about the future, but from wanting to control it. Khalil Gibran. Man is condemned to be free. Because once thrown into the world, he is responsible for everything he does. Jean-Paul Sartre. Anxiety is the mark of a spiritual warrior. A person who has found a cause worth fighting for, even if it is a losing battle. Paulo Coelho. Anxiety is the fear that one of a pair of opposites might prevail. Friedrich Nietzsche. Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. Martin Heidegger. The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. Seneca. Anxiety is the poison of human life, the parent of many sins and of more miseries. Richard Baxter. Anxiety is the price we pay for the ability to imagine the future. Martha Nussbaum. Anxiety is the handmaiden of contemporary ambition. Alain de Botton. Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. Soren Kierkegaard. Anxiety is the gap between now and later. Todd Solondz. Anxiety is the beginning of conscience, which is the parent of the soul but is not compatible with innocence. Angela Carter. Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. Martin Heidegger. Anxiety is the normal reaction to the abnormal situation. Rollo May. Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. Jean-Paul Sartre. Anxiety is the poison of human life, the parent of many sins and of more miseries. Richard Baxter. Anxiety is the handmaiden of creativity. T.S. Eliot. Anxiety is the anticipation of future dangers, and the perception of present dangers. Epicurus. Anxiety is the mark of a soul that feels its separateness from God, and its fear of losing its own existence. Simone Weil. Anxiety is the result of a lack of control, a feeling of helplessness in the face of uncertainty. Epictetus. Anxiety is the fear of the unknown, of what lies beyond our immediate grasp. Albert Camus. Anxiety is the shadow of intelligence. Montaigne. Anxiety is the feeling of unease that arises when we realize the fragility of our existence and the uncertainty of our future. Arthur Schopenhauer. Anxiety is the price we pay for a civilization that separates us from the natural world. Martin Seligman. Anxiety is the tension between what is and what should be. Erich Fromm. Anxiety is the realization that we are finite beings with limited time and choices. Carl Jaspers. Anxiety is the product of imagination run wild, a mind consumed by its own projections. Alan Watts. Anxiety is the fear of possibilities without certainties. Emile Cioran. Anxiety is the natural result when our hopes are centered in anything short of God and His will. Billy Graham. Anxiety is the mind's way of imagining the worst possible outcomes. Jiddu Krishnamurti. Anxiety is the inability to sit in a room alone with oneself. Blaise Pascal. Anxiety is the unhealed wound of existence. John O'Donohue. Anxiety is the feeling of being suspended in a state of constant vigilance. Rebecca Solnit. Anxiety is the body's way of telling us that something in our lives is out of balance. Deepak Chopra. Anxiety is the disconnection from the present moment, obsessing over what might happen. Eckhart Tolle. Anxiety is the misperception of danger in the absence of an immediate threat. Sam Harris. Anxiety is the byproduct of an overactive mind that seeks to control everything. Alan Bennett. In conclusion, anxiety is a common and complex emotion that affects many people. It is a natural response to perceived threats or uncertainties, but it can become overwhelming and disruptive to daily life. Remember, you are not alone in your anxiety, and there is hope for finding relief and building resilience. By understanding anxiety, seeking support, and implementing strategies for self-care, Individuals can work towards managing anxiety and leading fulfilling lives.